So we know that Japanese candlestick charts are extremely popular among traders, but just how did these charts first come about and why? Well, most sources trace the development of candlestick charts to a Japanese rice trader in the 1700s called Munehisa Homma. As we shall see, Homma is somewhat of a legendary figure in finance who's been credited by some with a number of incredible developments. Later on, Steve Neeson is generally considered as the person who brought candlestick charting to the West. So who was Munehisa Homma? Well, Munehisa Homma was also known as Sokyu Homma. I don't know if I've said that right, but in most technical analysis books, he's simply described as a rice merchant who took careful note of price ticks in predicting how future trade prices might happen. The truth is that Munehisa Homma was more than just a simple rice trader. Apart from being known as the father of Japanese candlestick analysis, he was also an excellent value investor and quite knowledgeable in futures trading, fondly dubbed as the god of technical analysis and the first true contrarian trader. Back in 1700, a futures market had emerged in the rice trading industry as merchants also sold coupons guaranteeing trade prices at a future time. A secondary market for these coupons was born, and this was where Munehisa, the investor, trader and entrepreneur, flourished. It's said that Homma was able to create a large market of traders in Osaka to communicate market prices. And it's also said that Munehisa's price analysis revolved around the concept of yin and yang, representing bear and bull markets, respectively. Homma claimed that within the instance of one market is the existence of another, and he applied weather and volume data in predicting future price action. He started by recording the open, high, low and close of rice prices in the market. He observed their patterns and the repetitive signals and gave them names just like the ones we still use to this day, 250 years after Homma first discovered them. He was able to develop so many methods of understanding market price action that he eventually wrote a book called The Fountain of Gold, which is deemed as the first book on market psychology. In this book, he examines the role of traders' emotions in market action and adds that this can be used to position oneself against the crowds. He summarized his candlestick patterns in a set of rules called Sakata rules that became the basis of modern candlestick charting. And according to several sources, he followed his first book up with a couple more books called A Full Commentary on the Sakata Strategy and Tales of a Life Immersed in the Market. There are plenty of legendary stories on Munehisa Homma's trading performance, with some saying that he once made a string of 100 profitable trades in a row. At that time, he had a tremendous advantage over his fellow traders who were still unfamiliar with the concepts of market psychology and candlestick analysis and price action. By the 18th century, Munehisa Homma was already running a managed hedge fund while diversifying his family business to enable them to own huge tracts of land. It's said that his net worth in today's terms would be roughly $100 billion. And that's why people say that Homma was the creator of the first hedge fund. Aside from amassing plenty of profits from his hedge fund, Homma was also an avid art collector and an advisor for the world's first sovereign wealth fund in Japan, even allowing him to attain the rank of an honorary samurai. So that pretty much sums up how Japanese candlesticks were born in the East and how they have developed over time. But how did candlestick charts get from there to here, and how did they get from the East over to us in the West? Well, trader and author Steve Neeson is credited with bringing candlestick charts to the Western world, and he's considered by some to be the modern father of candlestick charting. Neeson and his books on candlesticks are extremely influential, and we will be referring to them later on in the course when we look at the more advanced patterns.